If you listen to the marketing campaigns for privacy software, you might think a monthly subscription buys you a digital invisibility cloak. Click a button and you vanish from the internet. The reality is that data leakage happens regardless of the pipe you use to transmit it. You can build the most secure tunnel, but if the data inside contains your personal information, it will be siphoned off at its destination. We have to face a practical dilemma. There is no single tool that grants you total anonymity without completely breaking your ability to use the modern internet normally. Instead of chasing absolute invisibility, security professionals use a concept shown in this chart, the threat model matrix. Before choosing a tool, you have to identify exactly who you are hiding from. The vertical axis represents your adversary. At the bottom, you have local internet service providers and corporate advertisers. At the top, you have state intelligence agencies with massive surveillance budgets. The horizontal axis represents your status as a target. On the left, you are simply a member of the general public, swept up in automated mass data collection. On the right, you are a specific named individual being actively hunted. Pinpointing where you land on this matrix is the only way to make a rational decision. Without it, you will end up overpaying for useless features, or worse, underprotecting sensitive data. Let's start at the most basic tier of network routing, the proxy server. A proxy acts as a middleman for a single application, most commonly used to change your location to bypass regional streaming blocks. While a proxy successfully masks your IP address from the website you're visiting, it applies zero encryption to your traffic. Your local network admin or internet provider can read exactly what you are sending back and forth. Moving one tier up, we have the virtual private network, or VPN. Instead of covering just one app, a VPN creates an encrypted tunnel for the entire device. This comparison matrix shows the exact technical outcomes of these two tools side by side. For the proxy, you get a new IP address, but you fail the test for traffic encryption and browser tracking. The VPN successfully hides your IP address and secures your traffic from local snooping. But notice the bottom row. Neither tool stops websites from identifying you. If you log into a Google account, accept a tracking cookie, or present a unique browser fingerprint, the site knows exactly who you are, regardless of where your fake IP address claims to be. A VPN secures the network pipe against outside observers. It does absolutely nothing to clean the identifying data you voluntarily send through that pipe. Because VPNs route all your traffic through a central corporate server, a massive amount of consumer anxiety centers around where that company is legally headquartered and whether it falls under the 14 Eyes jurisdiction. The 14 Eyes is an international intelligence sharing alliance. It traces its origins back to World War II code-breaking efforts at estates like Bletchley Park in the UK. Originally, this was a post-war pact to share intercepted signals from foreign adversaries, relying on momentum gained from cracking the German Enigma machine. Over the decades, that alliance expanded to 14 nations. As Edward Snowden's disclosures revealed, it eventually grew into a sprawling apparatus for modern, domestic mass surveillance, allowing partner nations to monitor and share civilian internet activity. Privacy companies frequently exploit this history for marketing, claiming their servers are immune to surveillance because they operate in non-alliance countries. They will often heavily rely on citing a Swiss jurisdiction as an absolute guarantee of safety. The flaw in this logic is that non-alliance nations do not exist in a vacuum. Switzerland maintains over 100 contacts with global intelligence agencies, and it regularly cooperates with international law enforcement requests, as well as Europol treaties. Trusting geographic borders gives a false sense of security. A subpoena can cross a border. Strong mathematical end-to-end encryption is the only mechanism that actually prevents state-level actors from reading your data. If your threat model requires you to actively evade state-level surveillance, you have to leave corporate VPNs behind and use the Tor browser. This schematic shows how the Onion router handles your traffic. Instead of a single server, Tor routes your data through 3 decentralized volunteer-run nodes. Your data is wrapped in 3 layers of encryption. As it moves, each sequential node peels off exactly 1 layer to reveal the next destination. Because of this structure, no single server in the chain knows both where the data originated and where it is ultimately going. The mechanical trade-off for this architecture is severe. Bouncing encrypted data across 3 random global servers results in incredibly slow speeds. Streaming video becomes impossible, and many normal websites will outright block your connection. True, decentralized anonymity demands the total sacrifice of modern digital convenience. This decision tree maps tools to your risk profile. Profile 1 is the traveler. To secure public Wi-Fi, your recommendation is a paid VPN. Profile 2 is the privacy optimizer. To stop behavioral tracking, your recommendation is a VPN paired with strict ad blockers. For this optimizer profile, the VPN is entirely useless against tracking without rigid browser hygiene. Finally, Profile 3 is the high-risk user, a journalist avoiding state actors. Your recommendation is the Tor browser, accepting heavy performance penalties to remain hidden. Privacy is not a simple software subscription you can buy and forget about.